ready for bed at a regular time is one of the most important habits you can learn.
Who you gonna call?
Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
Poor Lori. Scared another one away.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
We are counselors at Hackett's Quarry Summer Camp. There is a swarm of bears.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you.
You know, you could probably share your screen and I could see you that way by what you're looking at in your Discord.
It's showtime.
Alright guys, hello, and welcome back to another fabulous and wonderful episode of the Screen Stream. We have my buddy Bidwell here joining us today on this fabulous review. And
What?
I was about to say, and this is gonna be an epic review, I have to say.
Ah, my boy Mikey Myers. I got my hat. I got this hat at Universal Studios when I was there the other day.
So
They had
Bidwell.
Michael and Chucky everywhere at Universal for horror nights.
Oh, I'm sure. I saw a couple of clips from some of the mazes they have done, and I have to say, it's good stuff. It's good shit, especially the black phone. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what I was pissed because we wanted to go to all the mazes and we showed up and they were like, "Yeah, that shit's sold out." We're like, "Oh."
Oh, damn, that fucking sucks.
But I mean, the park was haunted up enough, so there was a few people wandering around. We got to hang out with Beetlejuice and shit. They had some of the costume people out, at least.
Nice.
But yeah, we went on the studio tour, and the mazes I didn't realize were actually like up on the tour. So like if you were up by the Psycho house, that was actually one of the mazes and stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, sick.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of the, like, I've never been myself, but I've seen a lot of videos and shit, and I did notice that they have, like, all the mazes intertwined with some of the attractions, which I thought was actually pretty neat. Too bad I'll probably never get to see it, though.
Yeah, there was some big junkyard looking one that looked pretty sick. I think that used to be one of the Fast and Furious attractions or something, so I don't know if it's tied in with that.
Yeah, I want to say, oh god, what was it called? Because they actually had one for, I can't believe I'm saying this, but, god, what's the name of that fucking band? The guy who sings Blinding Lights.
Don't know. If it ain't DMX, I don't know it.
Oh god, it's the guy who sings Blinding Lights, you know, I Can't Feel My Face With You, that guy? Yeah, he apparently...
Oh, is that The Weeknd?
Yeah, The Weeknd. Apparently The Weeknds actually have a entire maze dedicated to them.
Really? I
Yeah.
mean, it does look scary. I saw the after the Botox or whatever the fuck that was. That was terrifying.
Oh. But yes, we are here, finally here to discuss our favorite Halloween series in the entire world. Our favorite is just Halloween. That's my personal favorite, and I want to say that's yours as well.
Halloween, man, it's my favorite horror franchise, even though we know it's got its lows. I kind of love the franchise because it's what, you know, we all know it's the choose your own adventure franchise, which is interesting. But it's also, even the worst movies in the franchise are interesting to talk about because their choices are just so fucked up.
I mean, I would have to say, if you're talking about like some fucked up choices, I mean, let's talk about Halloween Resurrection here. Busta Rhymes, fucking
Halloween Resurrection. You know what? I actually have kind of a soft spot for it because it was the first Halloween movie I saw in a theater, and I went to a midnight showing, and it might have been my first midnight showing of anything. Honestly, I was so fucking jacked, and I walked out pleased when I was like. What year did that come out? 02? I must have been like 15.
It's like early 2000s.
I think it was 2002, and I didn't hate it. I don't think. I remember kind of liking it. But like I said, I was like 15, so
15 different time, different story. But I have to ask you. I've been excited to hear your answer. I have a feeling I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm excited. So tell me, man, what did you think of Halloween Ends?
Well, so let me just say, when I went to California last week, my one of my main goals was to find the premiere of this fucking movie because I was so excited, right?
Right.
And I think you and I I don't know if we loved the kills, but I think we appreciated a lot of the actual kills in Kills.
Yes.
So I actually ran into James Jude Courtney, who played Michael Myers in this new trilogy, and he signed my Michael Myers shirt that I happen to be wearing. And it was like the night after their premiere. And I couldn't have been more excited to watch this thing. We went to Universal the next day, and after we got back to the hotel, as exhausted as I was, I pulled up the fucking Peacock app on my phone, and I watched this thing, laying in bed. And, I don't know about you, but this is definitely not the movie I thought I was gonna get for the end of this saga.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't what I was expecting, but it was what I wanted, and to a degree.
Okay.
And I have to say, I'm gonna be the oddball, like the extreme oddball. I feel like everybody in my household is just the extreme oddball, but we actually enjoyed the movie. We enjoyed it. And a lot of people would keep looking at me crazy. They're like, well, how the hell did you enjoy this movie? It was garbage, it was shit, it was this, it was that. I'm like, well, let me explain.
I kind of figured you were gonna like this, and I don't really like it, but I could see a world where if this wasn't the end entry, I could appreciate it.
See, that's the thing. I actually appreciate it for the end, and let me kind of explain a little bit. So, we all know that this trilogy is supposed to wrap up the 40 years, the 40 long years we've had of Michael being milked to fucking death. And I feel like this is more of an homage, not only to the original creator of Halloween, but also just to us as fans. It kind of candy fodder in a way. We had the original 2018 movie that came out that brought back Laurie and Michael and brought this whole new dynamic that we didn't really know about, because after the second one it was, oh, they're related, oh, they're this, they're that. And this one, there's no point for Michael to come after Laurie. Laurie has all options to go after Michael, but she chooses to hide out in her house until Sartania, God bless that fucking asshole doctor, brought them in together. Then we have Halloween Kills.
You don't feel like this movie kind of negates that, though, when he just shows up at her house?
Again, let me explain.
Okay, alright.
So, then we got Halloween Kills, which is literally, we spend majority of the movie hanging out with Michael, getting to see the best of Michael, getting to see Michael at his highest peak, the most kills I've ever seen this man pull off. Then we have this one, where, okay, so you know the running thing that's been going on with movies these last couple of years, where instead of ending a franchise, they have been passing on the torch. And I believe, and I think a lot of people believe this for a while, that they weren't going to end Halloween, that they were just going to pass the torch. So I believe that this new guy, what was his name, Collins or something like that?
Corey Cunningham.
Yeah, Corey. I believe he's supposed to be a red herring for Michael, because a lot of people, even people who've never seen this movie, are just convinced that they're just going to pass the torch on. And I want to say, with this movie, this is the movie that just ends it all. Everything that you could think of that, okay, we could pass this torch on, they cut it off at the end. You know, they're like, all right, well.
I did read, though, that the ending was reshot after a poor test screening, so that could have happened at one point. I don't know how the original ending went.
I didn't know that. Okay, I'll have to look into that, see if I can't find
there
that.
There were some reshoots, and I heard the ending was changed drastically.
Probably because they originally were going to pass the torch on, but when everyone...
That would be my guess, but I don't know for sure.
But the way I look at it is, this is the definitive end. this is it. Like, we had a fucking funeral for this dude. Like, tell me I'm wrong. That whole ending scene after Lori kills Michael and slit his wrist, slit his throat, put him on the top of the car. Tell me that didn't look like a fucking funeral. Just cars following, people cheering on the sidelines. Just, it's
yeah, the
over.
whole town on their group chat got together real fucking quick, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
They were waiting for 4 years for that moment. They got that fucking bling, and they were like, "Ah, fuck, it's time, kid.
It's time. The funeral
Get
is
your
here."
ass to the junkyard."
But Corey was supposed to be the red herring. Like, we spent a lot of time with him. Like, a lot.
I
like, a
love
lot.
the idea of him being a red herring. I just think that if they had built him into the last two movies and it was a slower escalation and you earned a little more of the relationship with him and the granddaughter, Allison, and you built up to something and really earned that moment, I think that could have been really good. The fact that we only came to Halloween Ends to see the final battle between these two, and then 75% of the movie is this other kid that's now a new character to us.
Right.
That's what kind of bothered me. And it's not that I don't think he's bad, and I think this could have worked for me actually. Like, if this was the 2018 movie and it was all kind of like him empowering Michael, because Michael seems to be getting energy from him killing or some shit. I don't know what the hell they're doing there, but like if they were and maybe he dies in the end of Kills or something. Like he is helping do the killing, and then he dies and kills, and then we're left with Michael and Lori. I think that could have worked for me. But the fact that you just kind of tag all this on in the third part of a trilogy, I think it works as it would have worked as a standalone movie, but as the end of a trilogy for me, it just doesn't work. Or I guess really a quadrilogy, because the original still counts.
Right. I mean, I can get where you're coming from, because I mean, I'm with you. It didn't feel natural the way they kind of like, all right, here's his backstory. Which, by the way, if I might add, no tears were shed when that little fucker kid died. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that. Like literally, like, picture this. We're all in my living room. We're watching the shit. The dude's kicking down the door, and then suddenly the kid goes flying off the balcony and smashes onto the floor. Everybody in this house, me. You know what? If the kid was nicer, I might have been sad.
Yeah, let's talk about that opening. That opening is great. I actually really enjoyed the opening because, again, that fucks with your expectations. Because the whole time you're waiting for Michael to show up.
Right, and he's not. That's the sad part. And I'm with you. Like, that opening was just like, kind of like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. Because, what was it? Like, they started off with the kid showing up, Corey, and then at first you kind of like, all right, with the little kid he's watching. What the fuck that kid's name was? I didn't even write that down, to be honest. I didn't even like that kid. But, you know, Corey's watching him and having a good time, and then suddenly it just turns. It's like, all just turns, and then the little kid becomes a monster, and I just don't feel bad for him.
For me, the weakest aspect of these movies is the dialogue writing. Like, it's almost the same as the Rob Zombie movies to me. Like, Rob Zombie just cannot write good dialogue. But visually and the violence and the gore and everything is fun and exciting, and the mask always looks great. Michael was cool, but even in this new trilogy, the dialogue is such a fucking, you're like, are these people stupid? I mean, go back to everyone's favorite, evil dies tonight. We get it, motherfucker. We get it.
Hey,
how many times do you gotta say it? It just sounds stupid now. And even that little kid in the beginning of this, like, this little kid's just clearly forcing all this crap out about Michael Myers. You're like, I don't believe it.
But you're just trying to be a little asshole, aren't you, kid?
Right. It felt forced. This one, I will say, is dialogue-wise the strongest because I think they talk less. But there's also 2 additional writers, I noticed. It's not just David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. There was 2 other names there.
Right, which I didn't catch their names, but no, I have to agree.
It almost makes me think they had this story about this kid becoming a killer, and maybe they were like, hey, how do we backdoor this into a Halloween movie?
And then again, I think that's where those reshoots that you were talking about came in from. Like, they wanted to pass the torch like everybody else has been doing, like Ghostbusters Afterlife and everything. But I'm sorry, we're tired of Michael. Like, we love Michael. We do. We really do love Michael. I've been supporting Michael for, God, since I was a kid. Since I saw the original Halloween on AMC's 31 Nights of Halloween. But it was time to put that man to rest. And
it's not done. You know it's not done. 5 years from now, there's going to be a reboot or a sequel to Part 4. They're going to be like 4.5 or some shit.
There's no way they could have a sequel. They could have a reboot, yes, but there's no way, because they killed every aspect.
No, that's the thing, is there's different timelines. So not only did they leave a 4-year gap there, they can make a sequel that takes place in those 4 years. If they wanted, they could also go back and continue with Jamie Lloyd or something, in some fashion, if they really wanted to.
I mean, yeah, if they really want to get Danielle Harris involved in this, sure, but
why not?
I'm just gonna say, let the man just die in peace. He had a funeral. Let him die in peace.
Or you know what happens these days is, we might be at the point now where some people are getting older who grew up with Rob Zombie's versions. And maybe they're super fucking fans of those Rob Zombie movies. Maybe they let Rob Zombie do a fucking third movie. It's possible.
I don't think Rob Zombie would be down for that. I want to say, and as a quote from him, that it was right after Halloween 2, he said he would never do anything like this ever again. Apparently,
he said that after the first one, I thought.
No, I thought he said it after the second one. That he just didn't want to do it.
He said it after both of them, I'm pretty sure. I've told my story. He also said, I'm only counting the original Halloween, and then he made Laurie Michael's sister, so I don't believe a fucking word he says anyway.
Yeah, he took a little too much.
Because the real fans know that wasn't until Halloween 2.
Right? And even still, John himself said, I didn't even like that because I wrote it when he had writer's block. And I think he was on a case of beer?
Drunk and Coke? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like a case of beer and he had writer's block and he just wrote that down. And he never liked it.
For me, honestly, the end of the Laurie and Michael thing is always going to be H2O. For me, I think that was a more interesting telling of this, and that was 20 years later. That worked enough for me. I always tell people, if you don't want to watch 13 fucking Halloween movies and you want a little trilogy, 1, 2, and H2O for me are a nice little trilogy.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, if they didn't ruin it with the whole resurrection bullshit, I feel like Halloween H2O would have been a lovely intel. I mean, she fucking decapitated his ass, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, this is a series where no one dies. Even we know Michael don't die, but even your fucking your human characters could just come back whenever.
Yeah, I would like.
That's a new timeline. Fuck it.
I would like to see how they rewrite this timeline. Like
Marion's back, Laurie's back. Fuck it.
Like, damn it,
Jamie Lloyd will be back.
This is your long lost daughter, Laurie. Here she is. Fucking there's Michael. How did he survive the fucking meat grinder? We don't know.
Well, the rights, I think, are going back to the Akkads, but they have a good relationship with Universal and Blumhouse. So I would not doubt, if they do decide to continue this in some way, if they do come back to Universal and Blumhouse. I hope they get a different director in there, someone with a little clearer vision, because this feels like this was not a planned thing. I think the original intention was to do another one back to back to back, right? It was going to be the same night still, and then COVID happened and they couldn't shoot it.
Yeah, I want to say they were going to film Halloween 1 and... No, not 1. I think it was Kill and Ends back to back, but in the middle of filming Kills, that's when COVID hit.
So, but I mean, they did leave some options. There's always room for Allison and Corey's baby. They had sex. She could be pregnant. Could have another little 6-year-old who murders maybe Allison and becomes the next Michael or something.
Quit giving them ideas, okay? We want Michael to rest in peace.
Well, Michael's dead, but the offspring, it's in the bloodline, right?
Actually, no, because I got rewritten. Remember that. In this trilogy, he's just evil. He's just evil. Michael is just evil. And that's actually something I did like about this trilogy.
I meant Corey's bloodline.
Oh. Corey, we don't. I don't think.
Corey's also evil by the end. So I mean, his offspring could be evil.
But I don't know. Raised by Allison, you know, she might turn out
right. But Michael's parents weren't bad.
How do we know
And
that?
He turned evil.
How do we know they weren't bad? We never got that information.
Well, we don't live by Rob Zombies, okay? Oh, Skull, fuck the shit out of you. Oh my god. What do you say? Oh, fucking. What do you say? I'll flump it all over those tits. I forgot the weird word he uses for coming.
I flap them all over them. Something. I know what you're talking about. I'll do something over those flappy ass titties.
Snarfle, or he has some weird term he uses for jizzing. I don't know.
I hated that.
I'll snarf all over those fucking floppy titties. You're like, Jesus, bro. All right.
I'm like, Mister, calm down a little bit.
Golly. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that maybe that was a reason they did some of that.
I mean, it's quite possible. To be honest, when it comes to this trilogy, it kind of... I don't think it was quite thought through all the way. Like, okay, we got 2018, which I felt like that one was somewhat thought through the most out of all three of these movies, because we had everything. The only thing that didn't quite make sense, but then made sense to me in the first movie, was Sartanian. Like, I guess, I know he's supposed to be, like, the new Loomis, air quotes around that, but the fine line between them is, Loomis knew how dangerous Michael was. Even though he didn't understand him, he couldn't get him, he was just like, man, this kid's evil, fuck this kid. No, leave that kid alone.
Well, to me, he is the worst part of that movie, for sure. And I wish they had left it the way it was, where her drunkenness caused the accident. I think that was the original, in the original screening, and they reshot that because audiences didn't like it. Who the fuck are they getting in these audiences, by the way? They're not getting Halloween fans in these audiences. They're just getting
some random, like, homeless
assholes.
People. Just you, sir. Have you seen a movie yet? Not in 40 years.
I just want to come in out of the rain. Okay, come on in and watch the fucking thing.
What'd you think of it? Do I still get to keep the snacks? Yeah, it was bad.
I want more of the doctor. Make him put on the mask. And pick up Michael with one hand. What the fuck?
Make him just sit there screaming at Michael. Tell me, Michael. Tell me. Smash.
He was the red herring, though, too, because I like when they call him the new Loomis, because to me, that was just slapping you once you realize he's gonna die, and basically Lori becomes the new Loomis.
Yeah, she does overall become the new Loomis in a way.
She's the wackadoo warning everybody, you know. She's basically Loomis.
But
I like.
But I have to say, you know, overall, the original, 2018 movie, I can't even say the original, because I say original, we might get that confused with the actual original Halloween. So the 2018 Halloween, I think, was thought majority of the way through. It was just Sartania was thrown in, like you said, as a red herring. And then, of course, we got Halloween Kills, which to a way is same, but different when it comes to the original Halloween 2. Because, yes, it takes place of them both going to the hospital, Lori and the family. But where it differs is, in Halloween 2, it made sense for Michael to go back to the hospital and then come at Lori because family bloodline, all that bullshit. And in Do you think 2018 is a better Halloween 2 than Halloween 2 is? I'm gonna be honest, yeah. In a way, yeah, because I like the fact that Michael and Lori were not connected. That was one of my biggest things when it came to the Halloween franchise, is there was no point in making them connected. John wrote Michael, or the Shape technically, to be just evil, just that's it, just simple evil. Like, there's no rhyme, reason, no explanation, just evil. And I think that's scarier than having, well, they were related, so clearly he's got to kill her. I just find it more scary when there's no actual motive behind the killer. Like, the dude, it just stands there, he just feels like killing, that's it, that's just his job, that's all he wants to do. You just happen to be in his way, so he's just gonna kill you. So
I like the sister twist as far as 2 goes. It's when you start getting into like 4 or 5, all that shit, when they keep trying to make it the family, that's when you lose me a little bit, especially when Lori's not in them.
Yeah.
But for 2, I liked it in 2. Especially what I really liked is that she never really finds out, right?
Yeah, she is never really told about that because it's all.
Yeah, because she's basically just gimping around the fucking hospital the whole movie.
Yeah, we
and
don't
like half drugged out, and I don't remember her ever learning it.
No. She never learned it because we learned about it when they Loomis and I cannot think. Was it Marion that was in the car with him? Was it Marion? Yeah, in the car, and that's when she leaned over and was like, "Hey, I looked into his records. She's related to Michael Myers." And Loomis is like, "Oh shit, we gotta get to the hospital, bro."
To me, this new trilogy is weird because it seems to be so excited to like bring the nostalgia of all these old characters and shit, but it doesn't really do any of them justice. Like Marion and what's the little girl? What the hell is her name? Lindsay. The sheriff. All these characters, they bring them back. Tommy. Just to fuck them over and make them look like idiots. Like, they don't show any respect to any of these characters. Brackett is just fucking useless in that last movie.
Alright, hang on a second. We're gonna go on Brackett real quick. I have to say, I love their relationship. Yes, he was completely fucking useless and had no real purpose in the movie, but the relationship was cute nonetheless.
Relationship with who?
With Lori.
No, Brackett from the original is the security
Brackett.
guard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not the... No, I liked Will Patton.
I was about to say, like, I get it. Like, he wasn't in the movie all that much, but their relationship was adorable. Just, I like looking at your face.
No, Brackett is the one from the sheriff from the original
Ah,
two.
shit. Yeah, my bad.
And then he's the security guard in Kills. And then all he literally does is spout the same 2 fucking lines he has in the original. I guess we're all entitled to one good scare. And then he just fucking gets his throat cut. And you're like, okay.
Good for you, Brackett.
Whatever, dude.
Good for you. Sorry, I'm getting my 2 cops confused.
And then Marion had a better out. Marion had a better out in H2O. Like her whole opening sequence, I thought was awesome in H2O. And then they just put her in the fucking car, make her shoot bullets into the fucking sky, and then click, it's empty, and she's stabbed. You're like, what? This is for Loomis. Click. Like, so fucking stupid.
Like, Loomis is turning in his grave right now. Just this stupid bitch.
They just don't respect and Tommy, Jesus Christ, what the hell they do to Tommy? And not that 6 did him any better with Paul Rudd, but fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather take this one than Paul Rudd's Tommy any day. Like, something about Paul Rudd's Tommy always just rubbed me like... What's the best way to describe him? Creepy? Just creepy?
Honestly, I think Halloween Ends does the most injustice to Allison because it just makes her like
really fucking stupid.
Yeah, what is her weird attraction to Corey all of a sudden? Why was she dating this like 50-year-old cop who treats her like shit and is for some reason this is what they paid off those fucking Mulaney kids with, just that he's a Mulaney? What was the point of that?
I mean, I didn't get the point of the Mulaney thing, but I think I get the point of Allison. And if you of course you paid attention, but if you, notice in the movie when Allison, mainly it was Lori, was walking around, people blamed them. They were just like, this is your fault. You're the reason this person died, or you're the reason the boogeyman did this. Like, you notice they blamed her, like,
which to me was not earned, but
no. Like one of the scenes that kind of ticked me off, that made me want to punch this woman in the face, was after Lori's in the grocery store and
grocery store.
Yeah, and she goes, "Oh, I like your face," and she's smiling, having a good time. And that woman's like, "Why are you smiling? Because it's your boogeyman, my sister." And we go back to that woman who got her neck stabbed through.
I can't believe she survived that shit. Her husband got fucked up.
Her husband died. She somehow
husband in that last movie was a. That kill cracks me the fuck up. He puts like 6 knives in that dude's back in that movie.
Just for no reason, too.
He's like, nah, this one's not good. Nah, this one, not this one. I'm like, Jesus. Yeah, no, so like that kind of stuff didn't feel earned to me either. Because like what? She literally didn't go seek him out, really. He escaped. And, she was kind of the only one trying to stop him.
He escaped and wound up in her house. She did what she could, and then he escaped again. And then just
yeah, the whole town being against, I mean, don't know. That wasn't earned for me.
No.
The whole quick turnaround of the Allison Corey relationship felt real fucking weird. And I don't know. I kind of thought they were gonna go for something cool for a minute and actually make Allison kill Lori when she thought that Lori killed Corey.
Which, by the way, if
Why
I
do
may,
their names rhyme? Also, that's annoying.
Yeah, but here's something else that me and my roommate didn't get. Why did Corey stab himself in the neck, and how the fuck did he survive that? Because remember, he popped up before Michael came back into that room. Which, if I may add,
he got shot twice and stabbed himself in the neck, and was still alive for Michael to break his neck.
Which again,
and I mean, the fall from the fucking second floor too probably didn't help. But
if I may add, he's the whole reason Michael even showed up at Lori's house, because he followed Corey. I want to say, if I may add something about Michael and Corey's relationship, it was a partnership I never thought I wanted to see, but we got it. And I
don't like fucking Michael on a leash. Come here, boy. Come here, boo-boo. Oh, you good boy. Yes, Michael, kill everyone for me. Yet you good boy.
The only reason why I even liked that was because when he killed the doctor and that slutty fucking nurse he was sleeping with, we finally got the perfect recreation of the was it Bob's death? Yeah, it was Bob. It was the name of the boyfriend that died in the original Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
We got actually a perfect recreation of that death when he stabbed that bitch against the wall.
But again, I don't need this trilogy. Again, does that too much? You remember? As South Park says with the member berries.
But the difference is, I'm willing to take that because they have tried numerous times to recreate that, and it's never done correctly. This is the first time they've actually did it correctly, so I give him a pass on that one.
He pins someone to a fucking wall in almost every fucking movie, though.
But he doesn't do the head tilt, though. It's the head tilt.
For Christ's sake.
It's the head... man, let me have this
I would rather have a new, unique kill than the fucking... Even that stupid-ass DJ kill
I was about to say,
made me laugh, at least.
We got some good-ass kills in this movie. I have to say, the DJ
Yeah,
kill
too bad barely any of them were Michael.
Mainly it was Corey, but still, they had some really good fucking kills. That, like you said, the DJ kill, I thoroughly enjoyed that kill. I did, just fucking bashed his skull in and cut his tongue off. Perfect.
I just don't... Okay, you liked it a little more, and maybe you saw a little more than me. So, just to kind of explain to me, Corey, he's like this... The whole town's against him because of this accidental death of this kid. He's bullied by... kids who are band geeks who are like half his size.
I don't know, they look like the Czech football team.
Right, they're able to beat the fuck out of him, yet he's able to take on Michael and rip his mask off. Is there some transference of strength and evil and power? And if so, how is Michael so fucking weak when he meets him anyway? So he wouldn't really have that. Does he just become? He's now also able to stomp somebody's head in like the way Michael did to Sartain. Like, what?
Okay, so I want to say there probably is some kind of passing on powers, because you remember when he first grabbed Corey in the sewers, you notice he didn't kill him.
He sees like his flashes of his life.
Well, that too, but you notice that he didn't kill him right off the bat, which means he had a reason to bring him in there. And that was something that bothered me for like a couple of days after the movie. It's like, why the fuck did he bring him in the sewers just to choke him out 5 minutes later? And I want to say he saw some of himself within Corey and was just like, hey,
he's like,
bro.
I'm going to say, it's like leftovers. I'm going to save these for later. I'll kill this bitch in a minute. Go to the bathroom first.
But I want to say he saw something in Corey that he saw in himself or some bullshit like that, and he wanted to give Corey this power, which is just this evilness. That's the evilness that needs to be awoken in Corey, and that's what he was trying to teach him. And Michael, you gotta think at this point, it's been 40 years, right? He's been stabbed. He's been burned, especially in these last few movies. He's gotten beaten. You remember the whole attack scene in Kills where the entire town was just getting up on Michael, beating him to a pulp like that scene in Office Space. The man's tired. The man's been through some shit, and he can't seem to recover. So that's where Corey's supposed to step in.
And to me, that just defeats the whole purpose of Kills, because she literally says the more he kills, the more he transcends, and then he fucking just gets stronger and stronger, and he kills the entire mob. But now all of a sudden he's just a weak old man in 4 years.
Well, yeah, because he probably has stopped killing. Like, it was very rare, because I think the way the homeless man put it was he brought some people in there, but nobody got out. So that means he was...
Yeah, and there was missing posters all over.
Yeah, so he's been picking off the homeless people. But another aspect I was thinking about, and it's something to do with the first monologue by Lori. She stated that the town was plagued by this evilness. Apparently, people were so paranoid about Michael that they were killing themselves. That's evilness. That's, to me, in a way, makes me feel like Michael is spreading his evilness, not by, like, physically killing them, but scaring them to the point that they're killing themselves and giving him somewhat of a little bit of power. Because, yeah, he may not have directly killed them, like stabbing them in the throat or something, but his influence is enough to scare people to death.
Well, I think that what I got from that, too, was also more violence and crime just in general. Like, there was the 2 people who were shot in the car, kind of like a Son of Sam type murder.
Right.
And he's like, well, it's not Michael, because Michael doesn't use a gun. So I think that there's just chaos and crime and fear throughout the town. I only got that, like, one person committed suicide, but that could have been from any number of these things happening in town.
Right, but I want to say, though, it's a little bit of Michael's influence over the town is why the town went to shit. And that's probably why he was in hiding. It was just, he had enough strength to stay.
Will you fucking move? I'd move.
I would move, too. That's what I'm saying. But,
catch the bitch and I'll come back.
But I think that's why he was still somewhat alive. Like, he probably should have been dead by the end of the kills. But that's why he was still somewhat alive, is just this power that he has over this town kept him alive. And then when Corey showed up, he's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm
sorry, is this a Nightmare on Elm Street movie? I need them to fear me.
It might be. It really might be.
I'm not strong enough yet.
Hey, Michael.
Freddy versus Jason.
Hey, there should have been a Freddy versus Jason versus Michael at some point, but that never took off.
Yeah, no, there was elements of this movie that I liked. It's overall, and the fact that it's the closer just didn't make sense to me. I think this could have really worked for me if it was built in earlier, and that's all I can think of, is the fact that most of the movie felt wasted on this kid. And like everything that they made you so aware of that, oh, it's gonna mean something, and you're like, what the fuck is the cowboy hat sheriff? He doesn't. I thought for sure he'd have some redeeming something in this movie. Doesn't do shit. The radio tower barely means shit. Just the fact that he killed the DJ and set it on fire. That's all it fucking means. Like what?
No, actually, it's something Allison said to him during one of their dates when they were at the diner and they got accosted by the cop that was flirting with Allison. And I forget what was said, and fists almost went flying, but the point was when Corey was holding her, she looked at him and was just like, let this whole place, burn it down. And I think that's what it was supposed to represent. This was him burning it down, the entire town down. Thus is why when she saw it, she went straight back to Lori's place. Hey,
but he only burns the radio tower.
Because the radio tower, the radio tower meant something to him. I forget which conversation it was they had at some point.
He just said, I looked at it and wondered if I could climb it. That doesn't really mean anything, though.
I think there was a lot more to that besides I just wish I could climb. I want to say there was some kind of deep.
It was when he was being shunned or something. He said he would go up there and look at the tower.
Well, in short, simple writing, as basic as they can get, that was a connection. Just when I'm alone, this was my safe space. This is where I sit to chill because this is all I had. This was a place away from his shithead mother, away from all the bullying, away from all the pointing fingers and shit. This was his safe space. So I want to say in some ways it could be him also burning his safe space, saying there's no safe space left. Like, this is all going down. You wanted to burn? We're going to burn it.
I think you're helping these writers too much.
Hey man, I gotta find some.
We're gonna put your name
behind...
in the credits.
Wait, I gotta find
Probably
some...
did just as much work right there as they did.
I gotta find some logic. Okay, some logics here and there, and I've been slowly finding some logic.
Well, everything I thought was gonna pay off. Even the fact those Mulaney kids, I'm like, oh, they're gonna come back in some way, and literally just be that cop's last name. He's a douchebag, and his last name's Mulaney. Which those kids were in the '78 flashbacks. So how fucking old is that guy? Fucking over 50 something. He's dating Allison.
I don't think he was dating Allison. I think he was trying to get with her, but she just wasn't having it.
Well, it sounded like the conversation she had with Lori and Lindsay. I think she mentions that because she says that ex of yours, officer, whatever.
Maybe they did date. I don't know. I might have missed that part.
Yeah, it was when she was Lindsay was doing the tarot cards.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it. No, God, that is disgusting.
But also, like, that was it. Like, that was the whole fucking point of those kids, like, or whatever. Like, that's just so poorly thought out, or not thought out at all. But didn't you want the sheriff to have something to do in this one after he did nothing?
I wanted him to do something. I wanted a lot of people to do something else, but we never got that. So
even Will Patton didn't really do much.
No,
the other cop.
Which is disappointing because I loved the chemistry so much between them, and yet we barely got some of it. But what we got, I enjoyed.
Yeah, I thought he was great. I was very happy when he lived. You find him in Kills in the beginning there.
Yeah. No,
and then just I don't know, these characters that you do like, they put in the back burner, and they give you this new kid who takes up most of your movie, and I didn't think any of Allison's actions made sense. It just felt real weird. Someone was saying that they had said at one point that it was a lot of Christine, and that makes sense now. This kid is completely Arnie from... Wasn't his last name also Cunningham? Arnie Cunningham?
Yeah, his name is Arnie Cunningham.
So they're not even hiding the fact that... which, I mean, it's another John Carpenter movie, and I love Christine, but for me, Christine is a much better movie than this, in my opinion.
I have to agree. I'd rather watch Christine than Halloween Ends. But I actually grew up...
You just take out the car and you put in Michael Myers, and you got this fucking movie.
I have to say, the way I'll probably end up watching this trilogy is I'll watch all of 2018, right? And I get the Halloween Kills. I'll fast forward through majority of the hospital scene, mainly the evil dies tonight bullshit, and watch the Lori and her boo do her thing. And then when we get to Halloween Ends, I'm just going to watch the beginning half, a little bit of Lori, and then I'm going to just skip to the end. I'm just going to skip to the end. Okay, I don't think
story is not a strong point in these movies. I gotta say though, Michael, when he's doing his shit, Michael's always good. The kills are always pretty slick. Like even the dumbest kill in like Halloween Kills, where he kicks the door into the gun and she shoots herself in the fucking... That fucking kills me. Do I think it's a... Is that a way Michael Myers should probably be killing people? No. But is it fucking entertaining? Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I died laughing during that part where he just kicks that door and she shot herself. I was like, damn, that's
I just picture Michael doing the calculations, like gauging her distance. He's like, and now, and then he fucking does it the perfect fucking moment. Oh, beautiful.
But I mean, what Michael did in Killwise, let's just talk about the full ending here. Okay, so we got the whole point where Corey comes to the house to try to kill Lori. Of course, she has the face, which, by the way, I have to give them credit. The whole shooting the pumpkin to make it look like Lori killed herself, that was actually done very nice, because everyone but me thought she was dead. Because Eric's like, no, they didn't just kill Lori off like this, and Andrew's over here like, I can't believe they did that. I'm like, nah, they didn't, man. That's pumpkin. Look at the floor, man. That's pumpkin.
Now, some are speculating, and I don't know where you land on this, that the whole building up of Lori confronting Corey, I really still hate that rhymes, it annoys me, that she's not actually visiting him. That he's building this conflict up in his mind because he thinks that's how it's going to play out.
I want to say Corey just wanted to get Lori out the way. Lori was trying to talk sense into Allison, and as you notice, everybody Corey killed and had Michael help him kill were people that hurt Allison. You know, the doctor, that slutty...
Or him.
Yeah. They're just people that he took personal offense with. And he took personal offense against Lori because, remember, Lori showed up at his house to talk to him. And I know...
That's what I'm saying, is a lot of people are speculating that was in his head, that she wasn't there because of the paper airplane. Was a playback. They said that the kid in the beginning was also playing with a airplane. And so some people were connecting that, saying that he was imagining her there, and that's how she vanishes at the end.
See, I would be on that bandwagon if it wasn't the fact that Lori was prepared for him. For one thing. The fact that she actually had the phone call already up, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, and then opens door, gotcha, boom. She was prepared. She knew he was coming, so that makes me feel like she had that conversation with him, knew it wasn't going nowhere, and knew he was going to come at her. So she was just like,
yeah,
all right.
and when the mask comes off, she wasn't shocked that it's him either. So I guess she knew it was Corey.
Yeah, so I feel like she was actually there for that conversation. Also, just a little bitty thing, just the window being open, just the fact that he turns around, she's gone, and the window's open.
Yeah, and the fact that she did the vanishing act a few times in 2018 as well, so it's not unheard of. She did it to Michael, for Christ's sake, so.
Which I think Michael was very proud of her. He had a Batman moment, just, So that's
I wish you were my sister right now. I'd be so proud.
But we get that whole, of them, I wouldn't even say Corey and her duked it out. She literally just laid how many bullets into him? He fell over the balcony. And then
at least 2.
Yeah, and then he just goes, "Oh, if I can't have her, no one can." He planned that. He planned that because he heard Allison pulling up. So he was just like, "I'm gonna fuck both you up." And then of course,
yeah. And again, they think they're clever with that whole. They mentioned that fucking muffler 5 times in this fucking movie, just for that moment, for him to know that it's her outside.
Just for fucking one-liner off. Just a one-liner.
I had to hear fucking 8 people talk about that fucking muffler just for him to go, "Oh, I know Allison's outside. I'm gonna stab myself now." Fuck you. Fuck you.
And then of course she sits there and goes, "How could you do this to me?" And at first I'm just like, "Oh,
why did
God.
she grab the knife and pull it out when
That's
she
what
also
Eric
knows?
Said. I'm sorry. I didn't
Also
mean to cut you
knows
off.
that fucking Allison's about to walk in the door.
But that's exactly.
Now this
what
is the
Eric
moment,
said.
though. I literally thought they were gonna do something interesting here, and maybe again go back to that Halloween 4 ending almost, where if she was so fucking in love with Corey and so fed up with her grandmother's bullshit, what if in that moment Allison attacked Lori and maybe killed her on purpose or accidentally?
That would have been actually interesting to see, to be honest.
Right. So Lori dies by the hand of her own granddaughter over this misunderstanding. So, I mean, that would be the escalation, I think, of Michael and Corey's evil, right?
Right, because then Michael's going to show up.
You corrupted her own granddaughter after all this shit, killed her parents. I don't know. I think that could have been interesting. Would I have wanted that to be the end? Probably not, but it would have been interesting. It would have been more interesting than what they did, where she just forgives her 5 minutes later. You build that up, and then 5 minutes later, she drives down the road and just turns around and goes, "Oh, okay, I forgive you. I see now."
I think that mainly is because she thought originally Lori did something, and then when she saw the fire tower and then got the phone call from who called her? I forgot who the fuck called her, but it was just like, "Hey, we got this call from Lori saying she's about to kill herself," and that's when she was like, "Oh, wait a minute," and had to drive on back for the finale. And then we get my favorite part of this whole movie, the section that just made my dick hard, which was finally the thing I wanted to see since forever. Michael and Lori actually duke it out, fist to fist, and I loved it. I loved every moment of that.
All right, so again, it was short. It wasn't a lot of it. It was all right.
I had to take it.
I don't know. See, I wish it was that, but more of the movie. To me, it feels like 2 extremely different movies, right? And this ending's almost tacked on to a movie it doesn't belong to.
Yeah, I agree with that. With the whole following Corey thing, it just didn't make any sense. But it gave us what we wanted, which was the fight, the actual fight. And it should have been 2 different movies, to be honest, or one not being made at all.
It's tonally like different than I feel like from the first 2/3 of it, well, the Corey stuff. And obviously, I love anytime you got Michael versus Laurie. Again, I think the fight was a little more fun in H2O, but I did like this ending here. But again, I wanted a 90-minute. If you did me a 90-minute fucking all-out brawl that was just Michael versus Laurie, and then it ends with one of them dying, I would have been happy. Yes,
Yeah,
Halloween fans. Halloween, and you feel that? Yes, you would like that.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I would love to actually seen them actually duke it out the entire time. Like, meet at a location, duke it out. One of them walks away. We'll try it again. Come back, duke it out. Like, I would have been completely happy. My pants would have been off the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know. For a finale. Yeah, I like the last 20 minutes there, I guess it is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the last 20 minutes. And I'm gonna be honest, I like the funeral shit. Even though a lot of people like I think Eric used the word morbid. I'm like, it makes sense. This is not just a funeral for this town. It's a funeral for all of us. 40 years. And we're finally putting him to rest for good. Like, he can't transfer his soul because he killed his apprentice. He can't come back because they grinded his fucking bones and meat up into nothing. His house is destroyed. There's no essence of him ever being there. He's gone. And it's a sad
to me,
day.
the beheading in H2O was a little more satisfying. This shot was almost really quick too. Like, they just kind of toss them in. It's like, blah, 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 and you're like, okay, that's how it would go. But it's like all the build up and then you don't really have a time to like, you don't really sit with it. You know what I mean?
Right. You don't get to like enjoying the ambience of it. You get to sit there and just stare at a bunch of people staring at Laurie as she just stares back at nothing. If that makes
and then
any
it's
sense.
a lot more yammering. Evil doesn't die; it just changes shape. Yeah. Okay, you're just saying some more shit to set up something. I don't know what.
Now, I will say, there was something I caught that, of course, Eric and them didn't catch because I watched the original Halloween like a bazillion times. That's just my favorite go-to horror movie. But did you catch it when, like, the very, very, very end of the movie, when they're going to the house?
When they cut back to all the places you've been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that because of the fact that in the original Halloween, it ended like that, but you could hear Michael's breathing. And in this one, no breathing. No nothing. Just quiet.
I believe H2O did that too, didn't it?
No. It ended with her straight up just decapitating him. And that was it.
What? Or was it 28? Did 2018 do it? One of them did it. Not. There was one of the sequels did it. I don't. Maybe it was 2018.
It might have been 2018.
It's been a while since I watched that one.
I'm trying to think back through all my, like, I got my little guy and my file cabinets up there going, which one? Let's see, not the second
one of the, like, a lot of people are coming up with endings that I thought would have been way better, and someone said that, how cool would it have been if the moment Michael is destroyed in the machine, like, if you did want to pass the torch, because the whole movie, you're not sure, is there evil transferring between the two? Like, is he getting Michael's power? Someone goes, wouldn't it be badass if the moment Michael's body is destroyed in that machine, you cut back to Corey's body and he just does the Michael sit-up?
That would actually would have been cool. Definitely a pass the torch moment for sure.
I think that could have been interesting. Not that I really want just someone else pretending to be Michael. I don't need no fucking new beginning Friday the 13th bullshit.
We don't need Kmart Express Lane Michael. we just need regular Michael.
Someone else was saying, like, you know how you see the mask on her, like, coffee table?
Oh, yeah.
They said, like, what if you punched in and you actually just saw the silver shamrock symbol on the mask? Shit like that. I was like, that would have been fun.
That would have been funny. That would have been a good nod to the third movie that nobody talks about in this franchise.
Like, yeah, the most fun for me in this movie is not watching the movie, but it's everyone talking about the movie, speculating on the movie. People are finding these little hidden things. Like, there's whole videos already about, you know, the themes of it and the idea of, like, the infection. Evil as an infection is, like, a heavy theme in there. Right down to his hand, you know.
Right.
Being cut and infected. I don't know. It's got good ideas, just it fell really flat for me. And honestly, this is my least favorite in the entire franchise, and I hate the Rob Zombie movies, and I would put this a little lower on those.
I hate to say it, I can't do that. I can't. Like, I find worse movies out there when it comes to the Halloween franchise, to be perfectly honest. I'm sorry. I get you have a little soft spot for Resurrection. I don't. I don't. Like, I don't hate the movie. I just really dislike it. The camera crew bullshit, and we're all hiding in Michael's house and it looks nothing like Michael's house. That bullshit. The whole fucking Buster Rhymes trick or treat, motherfucker. Like, I can't take it serious. Like, if I want to watch a cheesy film or a cheesy Halloween one, I'll watch 4. I'll watch 5. Now, I will say I like Resurrection a hell of a lot better than I like 6. 6 is my absolute least favorite of all of the franchise. I cannot stand 6 because there's too much bullshit in that movie. Too much behind the scene bullshit. Too many director's cut, producer cut bullshit. None of it makes sense. It was just stupid. And it makes me question Michael, especially with the whole incest bullshit. Like, I can't like that one. So.
I don't think, like Resurrection, for instance. I don't think it's a good movie, but I think it's a more fun movie than this. This is something. This one almost has no sense of humor, which is strange because I feel like Kills had quite a bit of humor in it. Like, not, I mean, intentional or not. Right. I feel like it had more of a easy breezy vibe to it, and I actually love horror movies that don't take themselves too seriously. This one to me takes itself extremely seriously, so it doesn't feel like on a rewatch it's going to be as fun to watch again. And I've watched it twice now. I watched it again, I don't know, yesterday or the day before. And I was kind of hoping that it, you know, sometimes once you get that initial viewing out of the way and you let it soak in, and then you just kind of, you might find new shit. And I was still kind of really bored during all the horror-y stuff.
I'm gonna say,
and then the way they do Michael so fucking dirty. Like, he just walks in there, beats the fuck out of Michael, goes, "You're nobody, you're nothing but a man in a mask," and then just takes that bitch from him.
Don't forget, he pushed him. He didn't just beat the shit out of him. He pushed the old man down and then took his mask.
Imagine, first of all, how fucking disgusting is that mask that you're gonna put that bitch on your face? That nasty motherfucker hasn't showered in probably 40 fucking years. He's been wearing it nonstop for the last 4 years.
He's been burning it, so it's probably melted half of it to his face.
Oh
God,
yeah.
what did
Would
Eric
you wear
say?
that motherfucker?
No.
That thing's gotta smell so fuck. You gotta be real evil. All right, you just sold me. Corey's the most evil motherfucker ever if he could put up with wearing that nasty ass mask.
Oh God, I forget what Eric was making fun of it. He was just like, he puts on the mask. Oh God, why does it smell like 40 years of regret and desperation in here? Oh,
even fucking Sartain had no problem with it. At least it was probably just a little dusty.
Yeah, but I mean, Michael wasn't burned in the first movie. He was burned in the second one, so it was probably fused to his face a little bit. So I'm with you. Corey's the biggest evil in the world if he's able to wear Michael's mask.
He's so evil, his nose stopped working.
He's so evil, he pushed Michael to the ground. I'm sorry.
That was fucking stupid. I did not like seeing my boy get treated like that.
Neither did I. Like, I was a little miffed about that. Like, well, this partnership turned over quickly. Like, what happens? You're not killing fast enough for you, Corey? Like,
yeah, I don't know. He just walks in there and starts beating the fuck out of him. I think I felt like he was in a fucking domestic dispute where his boyfriend's just like drunk, comes home. You ain't nothing but a bitch. Starts fucking him up. You're like, what the hell, man? Michael's like, I don't deserve this. I'm going to stay at my mom's.
Oh god, I'm sorry. But I have to say it though, when Michael showed back up to kill Corey, I had this entire monologue in my head of just Michael beating the shit out of him, going, "Who's the bitch now, bitch?" And fucking snaps his neck. "This is my match, you son of a bitch." Puts it on. "Oh, hi, Lori, how's it going?" "Oh yeah, we're supposed to fight." I feel like that's how that went. The whole conversation in Michael's head went just like that.
So, do you think that the writers of this were like, we want Lori to fucking hand-to-hand Michael, so we have to make him a decrepit old man for this to be at all possible after what we did in the last movie? Is that the whole reason that he's so weak?
I want to say, so that both Michael and Lori are definitely up there in age. They're about 60, 70 years old. So, yeah, we had to make him a little decrepit so he doesn't just kick Lori's ass. But, I mean, I think he did pretty well.
It is funny in all of these movies how every other fucking character, he can walk up to you, grab you by the throat, and just fucking rip your throat out, or put his thumb through your head. With her, it's always like her fucking skin is made of metal, because he can hold her by the throat, and he's just,
but he can't.
Oh, it's so difficult to kill this old bitch.
No, during the last half, as he's holding her throat, he's just like, my arthritis is kicking in. Fucking Allison walks in, "Grandma, let me help you." Shit, my arthritis.
Even like way back to like Halloween 4 and shit, wasn't it like where he puts this fucking thumb through the guy's forehead?
Yeah,
when he grabs the little girl by her leg, he just can't quite pull a fucking 8-year-old girl down. Like, what?
She got super strength, man. She was able to just catapult up.
He can put his fucking
thing.
hand right through her leg. Her finger can go right through her fucking leg. If you can go through a skull, you could go through a fucking, shin, all right?
Well, at the time, Michael didn't kill kids, so I don't think he killed his first kid till 2018. Am I correct to assume that? Because he never actually killed his niece. He never got his hands on her. Like, he had the little heart-to-heart moment.
Yeah, he waited until she was a teenager in the sticks.
Right. But I don't think he's ever actually killed, like, a kid. Not until 2018. And before anyone was like, that was not a kid. That was a kid. The kid was 12 years old. That technically makes him a kid. He hit puberty. His voice was cracking. That is a child.
He's like, you ain't going to dance class on my watch, bitch.
Hey, you like dance class? I like dancing too, motherfucker.
Oh, you want to dance and your fucking dad for some reason is an elderly man? Fuck you. You and your 70-year-old dad. You're fucking dead.
And then,
you know what just 2018 real quick. Remember the scene when he walks by the baby crib?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't kill the baby. You know what would have been fucking awesome? And not even like... Okay, I think it would have been interesting. You know how the baby's like crying? What if his hand just kind of went into the crib and the crying stopped and you don't know if he killed the baby? That's kind of what I would have loved.
That would have been so intense. Because I will say that scene made everybody tense because... I feel like the killing of the kid kind of let all the audience members know, hey, it's free game. Anybody could die. And I remember watching this in theaters when Michael walked past that kid. You could hear everyone just go, Michael, don't do it. Don't do it. Just hear everyone just holding on to their breath going, don't do it, Michael. And he just looks at the baby.
I think a little mystery, something like that, could give you so much. Like, you don't even see him struggle. Maybe you just slowly see his hand disappear into that crib. And the crying slowly stops, and then he just walks away. And you're like, did he or didn't he? You know what I mean?
And you'll never know.
Maybe he soothed that kid. Maybe he put his bloody ass fucking hand on that baby's cheek, and that baby said, "Oh, good night."
Oh, thank you for the warm hand.
He puts his bloody finger in his mouth like a pacifier. He's like,
I see your teething, kid. Hang on. I have strong hands in this movie.
I don't know. Not to mention the trailers. Whoever's cutting these trailers for Universal and Blumhouse, they're not doing these movies any justice. They're fucking giving away all the best scenes in all three of these.
And adding scenes that aren't even in the movie. They're like deleted alternate scenes. Like I've noticed that there's several scenes that just weren't in the movie that were in that trailer.
I purposefully only watched this trailer once because I know how much they give away and I didn't want to see any of the other trailers. But yeah, someone was telling me that there was a bunch of shit in there that was not in the movie, and I was like, oh. But again, I guess this one, they're trying to hide so much of Corey. Was he even in the I don't think he was in the teaser.
I don't think I remember in the teaser because the whole trailer was Michael versus Laurie. That was it, just the build up between them. Like Corey, I don't think was even a part of that.
I'm pretty sure that actor was at that party that night, but I didn't know who the fuck he was until I saw the movie the next day.
Was that the one that was the asshole?
He was acting weird. He was definitely acting weird.
I remember you told me.
I don't know. Maybe he thought I had seen the movie and he was trying to be in character and like play with me in a joking way. But the way I took it, not knowing who he was like, you're drunk and annoyed. Maybe that I don't know. It was strange. But I don't know. I thought I thought his performance was good. I just don't feel like we needed all of this story-wise in this movie.
Yeah, no, they really would just focus a lot more on the Laurie Michael aspect, which is what I really like the most about this movie. That's the whole reason why I had the movie so high. It gave me what I wanted. I wanted to watch Michael and Laurie duke it out, fist to fist, yet again, and I wanted them to die, and I got
so
that.
when it comes to a franchise like this, are you someone who likes more of the same? Like, I was always happy if I go into a Halloween movie. What do I want to see? Michael Myers killing teenagers. That's all I really give a shit about. Are you someone who kind of starts like, oh, I'm sick of this. I need something crazy different like this? Because this is crazy different. This is right up there with fucking Silver Shamrock Halloween 3 crazy different. It's just also got Michael Myers tagged into it.
Right. And funny enough, if I may add before I answer your question, we do get a little bit of Michael in 3, if you remember that.
On the TV?
Yeah, the trailer for Halloween, which I thought that was kind of a interestingly, like, meta twist, I guess. But it depends on the franchise. Like, at this point when it comes to Michael, we've been at this for 40 fucking years. We've done everything with Michael. Okay, we got the bloodline shit. We took care of that. We
haven't gone to space yet.
We send them to space to die. Wasn't that the old motto back in the early 2000s? You don't send a horror icon to space unless you want them to die.
There was an interview at one point with John Carpenter before he rejoined the franchise, and they said, what would you do with Michael? And I think he jokingly said, I'd send him to space. And then it was only a few years later that we got Jason X. Because someone read that article and goes, oh yeah, let's fucking send Jason to space. Fuck him.
Well, it makes sense with Jason, but I don't know how you would put Michael into space.
Wait, it makes sense with Jason? I don't think it made sense, but it was fun.
I enjoyed that movie for its own fucked up reasons, but when it comes to the Halloween franchise, like I said, I've seen it all with Michael. Like, we've seen him with the Bloodline, the Cold of Thorn bullshit, 20-year reunion. We just seen it all from him, and at this point, I'm not tired of it because we've done all the crazy shit. I just wanted Michael to go back to his basic function, the way John Carpenter wanted him. And that's why I hold the original Halloween so high in praise. Yeah, there was only 5 people who died in that movie. But body counts mean nothing if the kills aren't good and if the evil's not good. And that's what Michael was back in the old times, was just evil. Like, he had no name. Like, he wasn't even called Michael. They credit him as the Shape in the original movie, and that was something I really liked about the original movie, was that
they used the name in the movie, but yeah, the credit was
right. Credit wise, they call him the Shape because that's what he was. He was just a man.
Michael Myers, I think they said they got the name from one of the overseas distributors or something. They were so grateful to him, they named the killer after him.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that.
So there actually is a Michael Myers. Yeah, I think he was a overseas, I want to say distributor or somebody, involved with that. And they're like, yeah, let's name him Mikey Myers.
But Michael, there was always this sense of kind of dread when I watched the movie when I was a kid, because Michael could be anywhere. He could be in the shadows. He could be in my room. He could be anywhere. And that's what scared me the most about Michael growing up, was that this motherfucker...
Speaking of which, look out behind you!
Oh my god! Oh god!
Surprise finger in the butt.
Bloop. But, for me, though, it's just... I like the evil. I like the simple, basic premise. And that's what I liked about just Michael. Now, when it comes to, like, something like Freddy or Jason, I like them for different reasons. And... for better or worse, some of the movies, they made me chuckle, they made me laugh, and I enjoyed them. But there was not that sense of actual evil with them, if that makes any sense. Like with Freddy, I got more of a chuckle out of that guy. Like I wasn't scared to go to sleep, I wasn't scared to fucking wake up, because he's a nightmare. I can control my dreams.
What'd you say, bitch?
Oh, bitch. But, you know, Freddy...
You can't quote Freddy without adding bitch at the end.
Exactly, because Freddy was known for saying bitch. A lot. Like, a lot. But, you know, and then with Jason...
I'll take the tomato soup, bitch.
But with Jason, you know, I hate to say it, anybody could wear Jason's mask. And they've done it multiple times. Like, anybody could wear Jason. All you gotta do is have the right stance and walk, and boom, you got a Jason. Freddy, different story. Only one person could play Freddy, and that's Robert Englund. But with Michael is...
No, there was one.
We don't talk about that movie, okay? That's like, out of all the Platinum Doom movies...
Hey, it wasn't Jackie Earl Haley's fault. He was actually not bad. That movie just sucked, yeah.
No, I agree. Jackie, I thought, did an amazing fucking job as Freddy. And if they were to do a legitimate movie with him, I would go watch that. But I don't count the 2010 movie as a legitimate movie. But...
Did you know David Warner did a screen test in the makeup for Freddy? You know who that is?
Name rings a bit of a bell, but very tiny bell.
He just died recently. He was... What would you know him from? Have you seen Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze?
Yeah, I've seen all the Ninja Turtles.
The scientist guy in that movie?
Oh!
The photographer from The Omen, the original Omen, that guy.
Oh, well, at least he survived the curse long enough from The Omen.
Yeah. He's got one of the greatest horror movie kills, that fucking window.
But...
His head flops out all over the fucking... Oh, that was great.
Wonderful. I love that movie. We gotta talk about The Omen at some point. I do love the original Omen. But with Michael, it was always just that sense of evil and dread for me. Michael always just struck a fear in me, because he could be anyone, anywhere, anytime. Jason, not everybody could play him, and Jason only attacks at Crystal Lake. Freddy, only one guy could play him, and I could just change my dream, and boom, he can't hurt me. But with Michael, though, there was always that sense of dread, and then as they added to him, you know, we're gonna make him relate to Laurie. Alright, still a little creepy, but I know I'm safe now, because I'm not related to Michael in any form or fashion.
But if you get in the way, you're still fucked, because
right,
a lot of people certainly got in the fucking way.
And my thing
didn't even
is,
know what was going on.
I would get out the way. If I saw a man walking at me very aggressively, if I might add.
Justice for Bucky.
Justice, yes. That man.
He's doing his fucking job, and homeboy comes to rip the power out.
Just kills that motherfucker. But the more they added to Michael, the less scarier he got for me over the years. Like, the less scarier. And then by the time I got to the 20-year reunion, we killed him and then brought him back. At that point, I was just like, okay, enough with Michael. We did everything with Michael. And then they brought him back again in 2018. And I was like, all right, I'm willing to give this a shot. And then they brought him back to his original glory, the original evil, just a man on a mission for no fucking reason. You're just in his way, boom, you're dead. And in Halloween Kills gave me exactly what I wanted from Michael, which was the kills. I wanted to watch Michael slaughter, because he's a horror icon at this point. We haven't watched him have a good slaughter. Like, we've seen the aftermath of a good slaughter. Like, back in 4, we saw what was left of the police station from the officers he killed. Like, we saw, I think one guy was decapitated, and another guy was, like, slung over.
And then the end of 5, he murders the entire police station again.
But we don't get to see it. You know, it's all in the background.
Or sorry, the man in black does to rescue him, but they don't have a fucking cop left in that whole state.
No,
I don't think.
No, they don't. But in Kills, we got to see the brutality of Michael, and that is something I fucking love. Like, I love sitting down watching because that's the thing that always annoys me about slasher movies, is that they try to add so much backstory and information to make you feel sorry for the killer, or make you feel something for the killer, or make you understand why he kills. Why don't we just have slashers what they're supposed to be? A good time to watch them kill people, because they're not supposed to have a rhyme or reason. Oh, revenge this bullshit. Now, Does that work in some movies? Yes. I feel like if they would have done something like that in the 2010 of Nightmare on Elm Street, I would have liked that a lot more. Where instead of not Michael, but Freddy being, innocent of the charges and convicted and murdered, and then him coming back, that would have worked out well. That actually would have been really a refreshing pace and kind of cool. But when it comes to Michael, though, revenge just never made sense to me when it came to him. It's just like, let him be evil. And I believe a lot of slashers, it's okay to just let them be evil. We don't need to understand their backstory. We don't need to feel sorry for them. We just need to enjoy them for what they are. Fucking killers who just kill because they like killing. And I feel like a lot of slasher movies nowadays kind of miss that point. They miss the whole point that we're supposed to be afraid of them. We're not supposed to just sit there and root for them. We're supposed to be afraid of them. And
well, that's what I was saying earlier with like just the joy of a horror movie. That's the ones that I love are the ones that are fun to watch. So when you start getting into like excessive torture porn shit where they're not even trying to be entertaining, they're literally just like, what's the most disgusting thing we could put on screen? I'm like, I mean, okay, cool effects,
you're
bro,
more
but
about the Saw franchise there, to be honest. Like, there was a point, if I may add real quick, there was a point where I respected the Saw franchise for what it was trying to do. And
the original's great.
Yeah, I love the original. I love the gimmick, and I loved Kramer's whole thing about cherish your life, because the man lost his child, basically almost got divorced, I want to say, or either got divorced, drove his car off the edge of a cliff and nearly died, and then survived and just had brain cancer. So, I get his whole message, just cherish the life.
Like, I'm never gonna watch fucking a Serbian film or Terrifier, because I don't give a fuck. I want a movie that's gonna be fun, also creepy. I just wish we had more of a balance, because it seems like today they either go full on like
Terrifier.
Ridiculous, stupid, right, or they make it too funny. Like, I love Chucky, but even for me, Chucky's gone so far off the rails.
Especially with the TV show, which we gotta talk about that too at some point.
Yeah,
I need
but,
to
like, I like there's moments I love in that first season, but you're like, okay. But also, sometimes when Chucky goes batshit crazy, like when he's in 8 different dolls talking to himself, that shit's pretty funny.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
But it's also
funny.
like, what the hell happened to that just killer doll that you wanted to see creep? I don't know.
I mean, I can get that. I mean, I'm kind of with you. Like with slasher movies, there should be an element of fun, but you all should be scared of them and not just laughing your ass off. Like, let's take some of the Chucky movies, for example. You had the first 2 movies, which were really good, really fun slashers, and we had a good time. Then we get 3, and then 4, and then 5, and let's not even talk about Seed of Chucky. Fuck that movie. I hate that movie.
When you don't like Chucky running Britney Spears off the road?
No, I thought
or jerking off to Fangoria?
No, I thought that was a bit too much, to be perfectly honest. I thought they crossed the line when they brought the kid in, and it got too meta, too stupid for me. And the meta, it works. Meta sometimes in horror works. So let's go with the whole Scream franchise. Now, I will say, Scream, it's slowly
I like
declining.
the name of your stream, by the way.
Oh, the Scream stream? I wonder who came up with that. Which, thank you, by the way, Bidwell, for that.
I was just kidding.
Shit, what was my train of thought there? The Scream franchise, the fact that...
You're talking about meta.
Yeah, about... You notice how in Scream, it got really meta after a while, and it's still really fucking meta. Like, even
I
with
think
the
Scream
new one.
invented meta, though, so I kind of forgive it.
Right, and I can forgive it, too, but they get really fucking meta. Like, let's go back to the newer one that just came out with the whole explaining of toxic fandom and requels and shit. Like, did we really need all this information?
Yeah, the new Scream is definitely my least favorite Scream as well. It's interesting that I've always excited all these things come back, but then I'm never fully satisfied with them either, so...
Yeah, it's just disappointment, and mainly I'm disappointed because of what they did to David Arquette. I'm sorry, Dewey got done dirty as fuck in that movie, like dirty as fuck. Like Michael got done dirty as fuck in this movie, Dewey got done dirty as fuck in that movie. I'm sorry.
Have you seen Clerks 3 yet?
Not yet. It's on my to watch list.
Yeah, wait till you see the end of that movie.
Oh God.
Talk about this shit.
Should I be worried?
Yeah, I forgive like stuff like Scream because I feel like they invented the whole meta horror shit. So the new ones though, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if my taste is like maturing as I get older, or if the writing is just they're aiming at, you know, I feel like they're always aiming at the younger demographic. For the whole reason, we're gonna call the Halloween in 2018. We're gonna call Scream 5 Scream because we want to get the new generation of viewers in here. And I feel like it almost does a disservice to the people who have been there forever. And you could tell that they're just like, we have to explain everything to like a 17-year-old who doesn't know
anything about this franchise.
25 years of this franchise, you know? I don't know. And it makes me feel like someone who's been there from the beginning, like I'm being talked down to.
So it's just like, how dare you be here for so long? We need to cater to these new guys. But it's almost like working at a business. You with the same company for like 10 years, and yet they give the new guy the raise. Like, the guy's only been here for 6 weeks, and we're giving him the raise. But I've been here for 10 years, but he's the new guy, so he deserves it. Like,
well, it's like, to put it in that another restaurant analogy, come on in. We're going to treat you like royalty, but if you stay at that table too long, you're cutting into my profits, because it's all about turnaround. We want you to come in, give us your money, and get the fuck out. Don't sit there for 3 hours, because then they're like, okay, now you're just ordering drinks. I'm getting like $1 per hour for a fucking tip here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. Get the next group in. Give me some more money.
And that's the whole point about turning around the tables in restaurant businesses. You just need them in, out, in, out.
And that's what they're trying to do with this shit. Come on in, watch our shit, get the fuck out. Now bring your kids to the next one. To the
next one. It's like, it's not horror related, but like Toy Story, what is it, 5? 4? 5? The one where they brought back Little Bo Peep and all this shit. Like, it was supposed to be this whole beautiful moment of, you know, we got through I think it's Toy Story 5, but we got through 4 where Andy gives up Woody and all that.
I don't think there is a 5 yet.
There's one that just came out like within the last like year or two after the Toy Story 4. No. Toy Story 4 ended with Andy giving away Woody. Toy Story 5's got this whole thing with Bo Peep and traveling with some sporky thingy.
I think that's 4.
No, that's not 4. I can guarantee you that's not 4.
I mean, you're wrong, but I'm not going to argue with you about it, but that's fine.
No, seriously, look it up. Google it right now. There's a Toy Story 5.
3 was the one that ended with when they were about to go in the incinerator, and then 4 was the Forky dude.
Was it? I could have sworn the third one had something else going on. I don't know. I don't pay attention to fucking Pixar anymore. So yeah, you're right. I might be wrong on this one. I'll give you that credit. I'll give you that one.
No, not might be. You are. But I'm going to let you keep going.
You're going to let me have this one.
I'm going to let you dig this hole. Keep going.
I'm going to dig this fucking hole. I will die on this damn hill.
I was at a bar one time, and this bitch next to me, I think I was wearing a horror shirt or something, and she starts talking to me about how much she loves Rob Zombie's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I was like, oh no, Rob Zombie didn't make Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, he did. I fucking saw it 100 goddamn times. Okay, bitch. Tell me about Rob Zombie's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And she literally goes on to tell me all about the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre that was not Rob Zombie.
He's talking about the Netflix
Oh boy,
one?
that was fun. And I'm sitting there just going, yeah, okay, yep, I'm like, I don't know you, bitch. I have no reason to argue with you, but it's also like, how wrong can you be? I'm just gonna sit here and listen to it, I guess. I don't know.
Was she talking about the new Texas Chainsaw, the one we watched that one day?
No, this was years ago.
Oh,
She was
okay.
talking about the remake that Michael Bay did.
Yeah, the Platinum
Yeah,
Dune
Platinum
company.
Dunes one.
Yeah. So I
I
apologize.
was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Rob Zombie did it. Whatever, bitch. I'm just trying to drink here.
So I apologize on that. Like, I don't know. I don't keep up with all these Toy Story movies anymore. But the point is, there was supposed to be this whole thing where we're supposed to, let it go. Andy's letting go. We're supposed to let go, and Andy lets go. So we're supposed to let go. But then we come back in this next movie, and now we're following Woody on his adventures with this new girl and this fucking spork. And then suddenly he throws all this shit away. This fucking spork. It's a fucking spork, man. All right, it's
Fucking
a spork.
bullshit spork, motherfucker.
The thing was annoying. I remember that. The thing was fucking annoying. My sister loved it. I hated it. But at the end, he just throws his friendships away, all this shit, because he doesn't feel like he's a toy that belongs anymore. So he's gonna be a forgotten toy with Bo Peep and travel the world and do whatever the fuck toys do when we're not looking. I'm like, why? Why did you do this? Why did you do this whole movie? We had a good conclusion. Why did you bring it back?
I have a theory. I have a theory on it. I only watched it once. I don't remember if I liked it even, but I think I didn't. My theory is that maybe Tom Hanks doesn't want to do anymore, and everyone else does. So you have to get Woody out of the equation so you can continue making Toy Stories without him and explain why he's not there.
That makes sense. He's on an adventure.
Or vice versa. Maybe they want to do more with him and Bo Peep, and the others don't want to do it. But I bet you it's one of the two.
Yeah. But the point is, we're supposed to let it go, and
yeah,
we can't let go.
Especially when 3 was a perfect conclusion.
Right.
This is not my perfect conclusion.
No.
So, I want to be in a Halloween movie, so don't let it die. Maybe a couple years from now, J.J. Bidwell gets to get murdered by Mikey. God, that would be a fucking dream.
To be honest, I'm kind of with you on that. If I could be in a Halloween movie just to be awesomely killed, like, I would make sure I would die. Just be like, all right, how's Michael killing me? Like, I need to know this. Just tell me how it's gonna be done so I can put my all into this.
When I was 16 years old, I think I've told you this before, but they made the documentary about the franchise at that point, and they covered the Halloween 25th anniversary convention. They had a contest, a worldwide contest. You make a video and you submit it and you tell why you're the biggest fan, and then they were going to choose 50 videos, and then they narrowed it down to 25 videos, and I made it to those 25 videos.
Oh, nice.
And I was just a little fucking fat ass 16-year-old. I wore my overalls and shit, my coveralls, and I was just like, I love Halloween and I want to be killed by Michael Myers. Cause the winner was gonna be in Halloween 9. This was when Resurrection was the newest one. And after the top 25, we went to California, Pasadena, and went to the 25th anniversary convention, and they drew a name out of a fucking hat out of the top 25. And I did not win.
That's sad.
But they also never made Halloween 9, so.
Well, it's disappointing for everybody around then.
Funny, though, that the girl who won shows her tits on the documentary.
Ah, yeah, conveniently won out of the hat. Oh, conveniently.
But it was awesome. It was one of the best weekends of my life. We got to meet pretty much everyone involved with Halloween. The only ones I really haven't met are Jamie Lee and John Carpenter, strangely. The two probably most important.
Right, I don't know if you could ever meet John Carpenter.
I've heard that they're both assholes too, so I don't know if I'd want to meet either one of them. I love them. But
yeah, I'm kind of with you about John. I don't really know much about Lori. She's like a hit and miss, I've heard, depending on her.
Have you heard that podcast that Daniel Harris and Scout Taylor Compton do?
No, I haven't.
They just put on an episode. They went to the Halloween Ends premiere, and apparently, like, they went up. They were so excited to meet Jamie Lee Curtis, and they went up to her and were like, "Hey, and before they could basically like have their fan moment and be like, "Oh my God, you mean so much to me," she was like, I haven't watched those movies. I don't know who you are, and kind of shunned them.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
It sounded like her people were kind of like, okay, move along. But Danielle's like, I played your daughter, and she's like, yeah, I didn't watch those. It's just kind of awkward.
I'm surprised that she actually hasn't seen any of those, but I'm not surprised at the same
Well,
time.
she's said she's not a horror fan.
fan.
She said that a million times, that she doesn't really watch horror movies.
Well, that's what I said. It's not surprising at the same time. She's never been in a horror,
But
but
also, yeah, if you don't know who they are, guess what? You know, they're at this after party premiere with you. Yeah, just be like, oh, and so nice to meet you, or something. You don't have to be like, I don't know who you are.
You
Get
can
away
make
from me.
You can make an inside joke about it. Just be like, oh my god, it's so nice. Yeah. I see. I don't recognize you because I never watched those fucking movies. And then continue
And not that
on.
they're entitled to go be besties with Jamie Lee Curtis just because they were, well, one played her daughter, one played her character in the remakes. But yeah, it seems like there's a time and a place to be a little courteous.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you know how Jamie Lee is. Like how I saw a TikTok or something that Andrew showed me. It was an interview with Jamie, and she was talking about when she and some security guard, when she was basically rewatching the movie, they brought a security guard in to make sure she didn't pirate her own movie.
Oh, yeah.
So the whole time, she's just has her headphones off looking at him. Anytime a death happened, just, oh god, and she's like, yeah, fuck you, man.
Yeah, there's one of the DVDs that I think it was maybe the 30th anniversary Blu-ray or something, has a featurette where they follow her around one of the conventions. It was like, I think her first horror convention, and I think she did it for charity, so you could really tell she didn't really even want to be there, but she just felt like she had to do it.
Right.
And she was, it really seemed like she was talking down to people, like horror fans in general, just kind of talking down to them, like, oh, I can't believe you're into this shit. And I think some woman was like, she brought her like child. It was like, oh, we both love the movie, and she's like, you're a bad parent for letting your kids watch this shit.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. She ain't wrong, but she's wrong at the same time. Like, don't tell a parent how to parent their child, but at a certain age, kids shouldn't watch horror movies. Like, maybe a little Goosebumps, maybe Afraid. Don't wait. God, what's the name of that show? Wait Until Dark or something like that. But,
Don't be afraid of the dark.
Yeah, that's
Are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah, that's it.
Are you afraid of the dark? That's the one.
But you know, it's okay for them to watch this. But when it comes to horror, like my sister, she's 13 years old. She's been into horror movies the past like 2 years. She's really into horror because of me, and she would want to watch some of these horror movies, and my mom has to sit down and discuss it with me. She's just like, hey, is this cool for her to watch? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what are you comfortable with her watching? You want blood, guts, no nudity? Like, what do you want? And she would basically tell me out flat, I don't mind a little bit of cursing. I don't want no sex scenes, and very little to no nudity. Okay, I can see what I can pull off. And of course, my sister, she watched the original
Where
Halloween.
do I find a horror movie with just one titty?
Halloween, the original Halloween. We don't even actually
One
get
titty.
the titties.
You see two titties.
We
Not
don't
one.
even get to see the titties.
You only get one titty. When he's stabbing him, you do.
Oh yeah, but
Michael Myers stabbed his sister in the tits.
that's half a tit. But the point is, that's fine. My mom asked me about this new trilogy, and I was just like, no, just no. Mom was like, how bad is it? And I showed her the firefighter scene from Halloween Kills and went, that bad. And she was like, oh God, Michael could do that? Michael could pick some, oh God. And I'm just like, yes.
Yet the only nudity we get is the flashback to the original.
See anything you like? Like, yes I do. That's what Michael was thinking anyways. Just, yes, I see something definitely I like.
Oh, yeah. He starts talking like fucking Beavis and Butthead.
Yes. But,
this is the greatest day of my life.
But, I mean, just pick and choose carefully. But I still say Jamie probably shouldn't have said that to a parent. Just, like, you don't know what the parent's comfortable with and what the kid's comfortable with. And movies nowadays versus movies back then, completely different ratings. Like, I want to say the original Halloween is what, rated R? Was it originally? Yeah. But go back and watch that movie and tell me nowadays, would that be a rated R movie?
I would say with the nudity probably, but
To be honest, I think it would be more of a hard-edged PG-13 movie because there's really very little blood, very little cursing. There is some curse words, but it's very little.
nah, I think nudity pretty much makes it rated R, especially prolonged nudity.
We only saw her titty for half a second.
No, she brings them out. She fucking jiggles them a little bit. You see anything you like?
Again, I still stand by, depending on the cut of the movie, because there's a widescreen version of the movie where you see nothing. You just see like
probably
the
TV cut.
Yeah, well, not the TV cut. I think it's a widescreen cut, but you don't see anything.
That's probably the TV cut. I have the VHS of that. I think it's the extended TV cut where they added scenes into.
Oh yeah, they to make it longer for TV viewing.
Because they had to cut out the titties. They had to make it longer to cut out the titties. That's what I think. Then they add a scene where she remembers visiting Michael or something in the asylum.
Yeah, when she was a kid. Yeah, the add to the brother sister thing for some reason.
So what are your top 3 Halloween movies in the franchise?
My top 3, of course, number 1 would be the original Halloween. I'm gonna be honest. Number 2 for me would be Halloween Kills, only because of just Michael going ham. I could literally fast forward through all the damn hospital shit. Like, that would be fine. And then number 3, I got a soft spot. Evil dies tonight. But I got a soft spot for this one because this was actually my first Halloween movie I sat down and watched after the original one. Part of the, I guess, the official sequels or something. Cause funny enough, I watched this one before I watched 2, but Halloween 4. That's my top 3. The original Halloween, Halloween Kills, and the Halloween 4. But 4, like you with Resurrection, it's a soft spot for me because it's one of the ones me and my mom sat down and watched together. After she showed me the original one, of course, it was the AMC 31 Nights of Halloween bullshit. So they showed like all the fucking Cult of Thorn Halloween movies. And
I think I just put up my ranking the other day, didn't I?
You put, I think, your ranking for Jason, right?
Oh, all right. So yeah, I did both, but my Halloweens from top to bottom, I go 1, 2, the original 2, H2O, and then 4 is not far behind. 4 is my 4th favorite.
Yeah, that's a good ranking. That's a good.
But then I hit Kills in 2018, so those aren't too far off.
Yeah, I think 2018's my 4th choice, but I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to kills, the reason why it's so high, it's literally just for the kills for Michael. Just Halloween Kills. Michael killing, that's all I want. And that firefighter scene. I love that scene.
Like, technically, I think that 2018 is a better movie than Halloween Kills, but I think Halloween Kills is more fun to watch just because of the fucking chaos.
Right, and I will say, when it comes to the new trilogy, I've seen Halloween 2018, I think, roughly 3 times since it's been out, which is saying a lot since it's been out since 2018. But I watched it the first time in theaters, I think 1 time last year, and then just a couple of weeks ago to kind of refresh my memory to get ready for this movie. Halloween Kills, now I will say I watched that bitch like at least 6 times. Like, I watched it that first night with you, then I watched it again the next night, then I watched it again on a Discord group with another group of people, then I watched it again with somebody else, and then I just watched it just for shits and giggles one more time. I really like that one, and unfortunately with this one, I've only seen the 1 time. Like, I should have gone back and rewatched it. I was thinking I kicked myself in the ass all week for not going back and rewatching it, because I believe you should, if you're going to review a movie, at least watch it 2 times. But I was afraid if I rewatched it again, I would find more shit wrong with it and not have a positive review to say. Per se.
Anyone who thinks that I'm just here to shit on this movie and I'm not really a Halloween fan, I will tell you that I think I own every release of every Halloween movie, and I buy every fucking new release of every Halloween movie. I will probably watch Halloween Ends, a bajillion more times because that's who I am with this franchise. I will probably buy it 106 times on every new format that comes out for the next 20 years. But yeah, I think it is my least favorite, which is very hard to say because I don't like those Rob Zombie movies.
Right. All right. Now I gotta ask this: out of the trilogy set, which one's your favorite?
Out of the new David Gordon Green trilogy?
No, just out of all the timelines and trilogy, what's your favorite timeline? Which I know the answer to, but let's just get a little recap.
Well, that would be 1-2 H2O. I think is a timeline of itself.
So you're not gonna count.
Some people you can't argue. You can argue that I think 4, 5, 6 do happen in that timeline, but it's not directly acknowledged, really.
Yeah, they don't really speak about it, especially the fact that would seem really fucked up to include that timeline, especially when Laurie's supposed to quote unquote be dead, but then she's living a completely different life with a completely different name and has another kid. That makes her look like a piece of shit.
She said she changed her name. Did she mention that she faked her death? I think she might. I don't remember.
I can't.
I think the
remember that.
news article does. I think the news article in the beginning of H2O mentions that she had died in the accident or something.
But still, that makes it even worse, though. Like I said, a piece of shit. The fact that she abandoned her child to get killed by Michael just for Michael to show up and try to kill her other kid. That just makes her look like a piece of shit. So, to be honest, I wouldn't count that as as part of the Halloween H2O.
I think it was on the audio commentary. They mentioned in the original script there was a reference to a daughter, but I think the studio, because they wanted to like a new reboot type, they kind of made him cut it.
All right, that makes sense. That does make sense. For me, when it comes to trilogies, I personally say if I could pick one, it would be Halloween, then Halloween 2018, and Halloween Kills. At the end of Halloween Kills, I could just live with my own little fantasies about how that all actually end.
I mean, even if you just had one in 2018, the end of 2018 is pretty clear if you don't follow the sequels after that.
Right.
Because that's kind of a standalone movie.
Because I will say, with like the Cold Thorn trilogy, I liked it, but it just got bogged down by the whole Man in Black, Cold of Thorn bullshit. And it's like you lost me. You really lost me about from here to there. You lost me. So I can't really give that trilogy a full trilogy, but this is as closest to the full trilogy as I'm gonna get.
The 4K trilogy box set of 2018 Kills and this is coming out soon, and I'm really hoping that they finally release all of like the alternate ending of 2018 or the deleted scenes, all that shit.
Yeah, because I heard one of the alternate scenes or deleted scenes they had for, I think it was 2018, was originally they had it where Laurie killed him, and it ended with him leaning up against a tree and his breathing
and he stopped breathing. Yeah,
I heard about that.
With the crossbow, right?
I want to say so. It was.
I think she kills him with a crossbow.
Like, it would be very interesting to see how they end up taking the whole situation if they would have kept that, which again would probably been a one and done movie, or they probably would have found some way to bring him back to life, to be honest.
But if I recall, even Kills had reshoots after a screening. They changed a bunch of shit, I believe, as well. So I just kind of hope that they finally release all this either as deleted scenes, or maybe maybe 5 years down the road, I bet you they put out like a Ultimate Edition director's cut or some shit like that.
Like 12 movies or something. Like, how many movies is in this franchise now?
13, which is shocking because I never thought we would live in a world where we had more Halloween movies than Friday the 13th.
And they can't seem to get a Friday the 13th movie off the ground. Like, I've heard so many.
They will. I hear it's close from a lot of the insiders yapping. It sounds like it's going to happen pretty soon.
All right, so who's the NBA player that's into Jason that's supposed to bring it back?
Was it LeBron? I think was interested at one point.
I can't remember. I remember there was some NBA player that was like, I'm a huge fan of Jason. He wanted to call the film Voorhees. And it was supposed to be like a whole like retelling origin of Jason.
I think he just likes the franchise and maybe offered to fund a movie or something, but I don't think it was ever actually. That
was the last thing I ever heard about it. And then course, quarantine hit and all this shit, so I can never make heads or tails. And of course, I've heard, oh, Nightmare on Elm Street's supposed to come back, and we're supposed to bring back Robert Englund. And then I get told, oh, Robert says he ain't doing it because he loves Freddy, but he knows he's too old for Freddy. Well, we're going to get...
the Craven estate, I believe, owns that again, because the same reason that the Friday the 13th lawsuit happened was because of the way, was it 30 years where a writer can regain ownership of their creations? So I think the Wes Craven's estate actually got back ownership of Nightmare on Elm Street. And I've heard that they are very particular. They've been reading a lot of scripts and meeting with a lot of people, but they want to bring Freddy back right, which I appreciate. And they want to, because Wes Craven's no longer with us, they're very particular about his legacy, and I guess that's good.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that. But hopefully, maybe with the end of Michael, we can now maybe get a nice trilogy with Jason and maybe a nice trilogy with Freddy. And then, hell, maybe they can get a wild card up their ass and actually do something unique and new to the whole situation. Just a whole new killer that we can all root for. You know, like, that's something I do miss about the 80s. Like, I never grew up in the 80s. But the
Bring
80s,
Leslie Vernon back.
But the 80s horror movie had a certain style about it where they would just, I don't know, have more respect for horror movies now, back then, you know, and it came the 90s and we lost the respect, and then it came back in the early 2000s, and now we're at that point where we lost respect, and now we're trying to gain it back, but now we're losing it. It's like a whole cycle.
Did you watch Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon?
Yes,
I bet
yes.
you love that movie.
I've
like
seen
that
movie? I did. I enjoyed that one. I thought the cameos were great. The whole meta of, we live in a world where Freddy, Jason, Michael, they're all real, and the fucking Kane Hodder.
I was so bummed they did a Kickstarter a few years back to do a sequel, and it failed. I was shocked.
Oh, I'm kind of shocked about
that movie's got huge cult status now, and I gave to it, and I got a bunch of swag and stuff from it, but yeah, the movie didn't get funded.
Damn, that sucks. I would love to see more. Like, if they could create more original bad guys like this, like they did in the 80s, I'm sure horror would stand tall again, you know, instead of, well, let's remake this, let's reboot this, why don't we just let them go to rest and then bring in some new people, some new killers that we can root for the
well,
next
you just
40
wait
years.
till Deer Camp 86 comes out, and then we get Deer Camp 96 and 2006.
Then we're gonna have 2016, then 2026, and then guess what? 2036, the requel. But you know, just overall, I feel like Michael is dead. Michael's gone and buried, and yeah, they can reboot him, but the original Michael, the original one we all grew up with, he's gone. He's gone. We're never gonna get that back. Even if they do reboot it, even if they do find some way to shoehorn a sequel in somewhere, we're never gonna have that original Michael back because he's been put to rest, like forever. And I think at this point that, yeah, he's done put to rest. It's time to make way for some new shit. It's just really time to make some new shit.
I don't know if you know who Mustafa Akkad was, but he was like the original producer man who funded all of them. I think he died, I think after I met him in 2000. Was it 2006 he died? I met him in 03, and it wasn't long after that. So 06 sounds about right.
I want to say it was 2006. Could have been 2005, but I think it was 06.
And he was killed in a terrorist attack. And he was always talking about how much he loves Michael Myers and I'll never let him die. And it was even in all the contracts. Every time he would give a studio the option to do a Halloween movie, you can't kill Michael. So even when they did H2O, they had to have a contingency plan to bring him back for Resurrection. So even before Resurrection was made, when they were making H2O, they made Kevin Williamson write that ending for the beginning for Resurrection, explaining how he still has his head.
And I was going to say, what's sad was that I think Jamie Lee only joined H2O because she got told, oh no, he's definitely going to die, because she said she would only come back if it was a guarantee Michael was going to die.
Well, and John Carpenter was supposed to direct it, and then he backed out over money.
That makes sense.
And then they got, Steve Miner, I think, who she had just done, was it Virus with or something at the time? So she was close with him, but he also did Friday the 13th, 2 and 3? So one of the few directors to do both, I think. He did 2 Friday movies and a Halloween movie.
Yeah. He's definitely is a decent director, I have to say.
But I know, so Mustafa died. His son, Malik, has been running the franchise since. And I gotta think, man, with all the money, even this movie, even though it's getting shit on by most critics and most viewers, it's making fucking bank. Because, you know, everyone wants to see how it's gonna end. So, given that, and given his father's, you know, ideals, I don't think he's gonna let this franchise die. You know what would be interesting, though, is if you did start playing into the old anthology thing, maybe you do a couple Halloween anthology movies, maybe do a sequel to fucking Season of the Witch or some shit.
That would be
I'd be
nice.
down for that.
Yeah, I'd be down.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
I'd be down for the 3, because I like 3. Like, when I was growing up, I didn't like 3, but over the years, I've gotten really soft over 3, and I appreciate 3 for what it was trying to be, you know, because John...
Once you know what was going on behind the scenes and stuff, you go, okay, that's an interesting idea.
John didn't want to, you know, make Michael. He was originally, because originally he said he wanted to do just an anthology trilogy, but then Halloween made too much money. And that's when they're like, okay, we gotta bring Michael back. And he's like, I don't want to bring Michael back. Well, we're gonna bring him back anyway. Fuck.
Well, that was the best part of Ends here, is when in the beginning, remember in the original Halloween, they're watching The Thing, the old Thing?
Yeah.
And this one, they're watching John Carpenter's remake of The Thing.
Which I thought it was a nice little nod there. And I know there's a lot of nods in this trilogy. And I want to say maybe the writers were trying to think how John Carpenter would want to do this. And maybe that's
why...
Well,
they don't have to think, because he was involved. He was an executive producer and did the music.
Well, like I said...
They could have just asked him.
Well, that's why it was... I want to say that's probably why it was written the way it was. You know, them meeting, not being related, just Michael going ham. Because even if you remember, even the original sequel of Halloween, John went back and made cuts to the movie to make it even more gorier and bloodier than what it was originally, because he said, if I'm going to make a sequel, I want to make it gorier and bloodier. This is why we had, I think, the nurse's kill that he had with the scalpel, where he stabbed her in the back and then picked her ass up and then dropped her. And I want to say the needle kill. The 2 needle kills we get, I think John went back and put those in. So he really wanted a lot of blood. So
well, he didn't direct 2, he just wrote it. But Rick Rosenthal actually directed 2. He also directed Resurrection.
And he fell for that. I'm sorry. I can never let it go about the Busta Rhymes things. I would never let that go. And Tyra Banks.
So, yeah, Carpenter... Did he also write 3? I think he did.
I think he co-wrote 3 with somebody.
Probably the director. Tommy Lee
something.
Wallace was the director of that one.
But
yeah, now we got the new Michael here in these. Is he he's played him the most now, right?
I want to say so. Yeah.
He's got 3 films. I mean, Nick Castle had little cameos, but he barely did anything for these. He's in them, but
I was going to say that one scene in
Michael.
2018, that was a golden scene.
Did you catch him in this one?
No, I didn't. I was looking out for him because I got told he was in this movie.
He's the guy at the Halloween party who opens his coat and says, "You see anything you like?" That's Nick Castle.
Oh my God, that's him?
Yeah, with like the anatomy costume or whatever.
Yeah, oh my God. I didn't even recognize him, to be honest. But I don't really recognize him too much without his mask.
Yep, that was him. And he says the PJ Souls line.
You see anything you like? Just, I see something I like. But, well, we're about to wrap up. We got about 5 minutes left. So, score 1 to 10. Where do you put this movie?
Ugh. As the end of the Halloween franchise, I would give it like out of 10, maybe a maybe a 4.5.
A 4.5, just 4.5.
If it wasn't the end of this weird ass trilogy, if it was a standalone Halloween movie, which honestly I hope that's what we do for a while. I hope that we do give a few different directors their chance, make a Halloween movie. It doesn't have to be connected to shit, none of this lore. Just make a fucking Halloween movie standalone. You do one over here, you do one over here. What I would really like is like an animated one, because some of the comics are fucking awesome, these Halloween comics. And guess what you could do with an animated Halloween film? You could bring back Loomis.
True, you can get a nice voice actor to do over
How
his
fucking
line.
sweet would that be
That
to
would
get
be
some more
fucking
Loomis
sweet.
Michael stories?
Quick, we need to get them on the phone right now and tell them we have ideas.
Yeah. And so if this wasn't the end of this trilogy or this franchise, I would probably rank it a little higher. But for me, it left a sour taste in my mouth. So I'm going to say like 4.5 tops as a Halloween movie. Conceptually, if it were not this, maybe it could go to a 6. It's got good ideas. I just don't think it pays off anything we were promised, except for that last 5 minutes or whatever. But all the other stuff just felt like it was building to something that we never get. And then you tried something different, which I can respect, but for me, it didn't really work.
I'm gonna be honest. I give it about a 6 because, yeah, the Corey bullshit was bullshit, but I had fun watching this. The whole, like, I personally did like the whole buddy cop or the buddy situation with Michael and Corey. I thought that was just funny. That was just great. I like died laughing. I was like, why is he oh my god, Michael's working with him? Holy shit, you know, like, I just thought that was just crazy. That's something Michael's never done before and probably would never do ever again because Corey betrayed him. But I like that. I liked a lot of the nods. I liked what we had of Michael. Granted, it wasn't that much, but what I had of Michael was great. The fight between them, and just overall how they ended it with the funeral. That's why I give it about a 6. It gave me a little bit of what I wanted, which is watch them duke it out, wanting them to die, and it gave him a proper funeral. Just, hey guys, he's dead. Like, there's an definitive death. Like, we're not gonna have this Michael back. And I can appreciate that. Now, do I wish it was better? Fuck yeah, I wish it was better. I wish this trilogy was like gold tier trilogy, like Star Wars over here, but we ain't gonna get that. I think
this movie should have been called Drive 2, because it felt more like fucking that movie than Halloween movie.
It felt more like Corey and Allison hanging out for like an hour and a half. Or at least
if you took Halloween, Drive, Christine, and threw them in a fucking blender, this is what you get.
Right. But I mean, overall, I think it was a good movie to a degree. Like, there's a lot of shit they could have done a lot better. There's a lot of shit that could have been done differently in this trilogy to make more sense overall. But for what we got, the trilogy, what we have, I'll take it. I'll take it. And it's something I will see myself watching every fucking Halloween like I do with the original Halloween and 4 and 5. Probably not. But I will see myself watching, you know, the 2018 one, Parts of Kills a lot, and of course the original one a lot. But overall though, I give it a 6. I just give it the basic 6. It could have been better. It could have been a lot worse, to be honest. But that's how I really feel about it.
You said your worst one was 6 altogether?
Yeah, I personally just hated 6 with the what was 6 called? The Return of Michael, no, the Curse of Michael Myers. That was it.
That's the old joke. Every fucking franchise that has like that scheme, they all have Return, Revenge, Curse. In that order, typically.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they did that on purpose, like Pink Panther even has that.
No, I don't think that was on purpose to a degree. Because I remember something I read that the Halloween 6 was supposed to be called something else, like 666 or something stupid, like something fucking stupid. And then they argued more about the name of it, and then ended up just going, okay, we're gonna call it the Curse and call it a day.
I wish they continued with the Pink Panther naming, because then you would have like Trail of Michael Myers and Son of Michael Myers, and just fucking keep it going.
This is all the Michael Myers on holiday, Halloween.
I think there was even a fucking another one that was. Good God, those Pink Panther movies. There might be more Pink Panther movies than fucking Halloween movies, even.
God. Dear God.
Oh, shit. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this film exactly, but, you know, it might grow on me. We'll see how the next couple years go.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, but overall, I don't think it was a bad trilogy, but I don't think it was a good trilogy either. Each video or each movie had its moments that I loved and hated, and more or less, it's not that bad. It's not that good, but it's not that bad. I'm trying to hold a little bit of my love for Halloween. That's why I rank it a little bit higher. I'm a little biased towards my Halloween. Let's see. What is next week? Fuck, I need my calendar real quick. Where's my calendar?
If you got any horror festivals near you, look out for Deer Camp 86. It's popping up in a bunch. They're even showing it in Dublin at Horrorthon.
Oh, really? That's nice,
We're showing our movie in Ireland, bro. That's sick.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I find that really cool, man. I find that really cool that you're actually in a horror movie that's being shown part of the world.
Go find the trailer on YouTube, Deer Camp 86. You'll see a fat ass named Buck. That's me.
He's that fat ass. But
it's showing if you're near Michigan at all. It's going to be up in Manistee on November 4th. They're doing a screening.
Too bad I'm not around. I would love to see one of your movies because Return of the Scarecrow is so much fun.
That one is available free on Tubi. Enjoy.
Be drunk though. Be drunk, my friends, when you watch
They're actually having a screening on Saturday. I might go to it. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, that one's up to you. But we gotta figure out. You down to do this next week again? Or next Thursday?
Depends on what you're talking about. If it's something I want to watch.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Like,
okay.
My whole build-up was just for Halloween. This is supposed to be like the official first episode. Even though I did one last week for Hellraiser, but I felt like with that one I was kind of like all over the place. Very new to this shit. So I don't think my thoughts came across very well. But
gotta have that podcasting genius Jay Bidwell on your show.
Well, I mean, like I said, man, we bounce like the best ideas off each other. But we will figure out what we're watching, and I'll get back to y'all. But I think this would be a good time to end the stream. We've gone about 2 hours. I think we've done.
Oh yeah, let me plug my other show real quick, just in case.
Oh, yeah.
If you like TV
ahead.
shows, go check out Sitcom My Face. I do it with my buddy Nick Franco. Good dude. We talk about everything from the Munsters to what have we done? The Oblongs. We did our first animated show. So if you like any old TV shows, F Troop, Full House, we've talked about them all.
But we're gonna go ahead and end the stream here, guys. I hope everybody who has watched is watching will watch. I hope you enjoy. I hope everybody has a fantastic and a wonderful night. And next week, like I said, me and Big Boy are gonna discuss, see if there's a movie we want to talk about, and I'll keep you all up to date the best I can on the schedule. So until then, my friends, y'all take care.